Hello, Hong Kong. Hello, Canada. Now, we are doing a live broadcast right now at 6:25 a.m. Hong Kong time. And if you can listen to me clearly, just ping me or give me some comments. I know it's still kind of early in the morning, and I'm right now at Spadina and Bloor, which is very close to Chinatown and also very close to the University of Toronto. This particular 12-minute message, I will do it in a bilingual fashion, but first of all, I would like to start in English. And I also have a guest today, Dr. Anna Wong. She is a speech pathologist, and she appeared in my Cantonese program before. And now, as I alluded to earlier, this is the Spadina station. Anyways, so Dr. Anna Wong.
Hello.
It's
nice
good to have
see you all
here. Yeah. Now, you appeared in the Chin World before, and now we are doing a simul broadcast in the Chin World, which is predominantly in Cantonese, but I like to reach out to more viewers. Yeah. So we do it in English, Chin Live and Chin World combined. I guess right now, I maybe I want to share with you about the current situation in Hong Kong. As we all know, it's looks more than surreal to see the extreme makeover over the last year or so since the enactment of the national security law, and also now, as of August 1st, we have the immigration ordinance amendment that some people are afraid that entering or leaving Hong Kong would be an obstacle of sorts, right? So lots of people are leaving, first of all, moving to the UK, and secondly, to Canada. And Ontario, it's a very popular place for most Hong Kongers in the past, in the 80s and early 90s. Yeah. And now here we are at Spadina and Bloor, and further down south of Bloor, it's where Chinatown is.
Right. Yeah. The crux of our population, at least at the early stages, right?
Yes. So you are the CEO of CFSO. It's called
Community Family Services of Ontario.
Yeah,
CFSO.
community.
GAWO. Yes.
GAWO, right? Which it's, should I say, is an NGO?
It's a registered charity, actually.
Registered charity?
Right.
That helps, I guess, people from different ethnic backgrounds and mainstream as well, local Canadians, but predominantly people who are immigrants, right, to Canada, who find a second home.
Right. So we've been in existence for over 33 years, mainly in Ontario, and historically we served the Chinese ethnic population in Ontario.
Yeah.
In the recent years, we've also expanded to other types of populations, such as Tagalog speakers, Vietnamese speakers, and the Syrian refugee population as well. So we're actually very familiar with vulnerable newcomers, not just, economic newcomers, right? Vulnerable newcomers with disabilities or history of trauma, socio-political oppression, poverty. This is predominantly our work. And it's we're not only a newcomer settlement agency, we're actually mainly a mental health and family service agency. So in essence, we serve those who espouse East Asian family values, right? Whether they speak the language or not is not really the criterion, but really just, because we understand family triggers and cultural, historical triggers that affects mental health and family well-being. And that's why those are all our factors to consider when we, do serve this population. And when you're referring to, the new population of Hong Kong, right? And I call it new because it's not essentially the same as the 80s immigrants or the 90s immigrant influx. Right, so they had a choice. They moved away because of uncertainty, right? Right now they are moving out because of certainty. They're certain that their, the realm of freedom is shrinking and all of that. And then, by nature and by the previous rule, they're more aligned with values such as the Canadian Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms, right? And that's what our agency does too, right? As a social service agency and as a federally, provincially, and municipally funded agency, we are aligned with our foundational statute of our country. And we also, have empathy towards those who believe in it and fight for it. And therefore, when they want to rebuild their new lives, we are here to help. Yeah.
Okay. I guess most people, when they, first of all, relocate to a new location, they have a lot of so-called like trauma or depression when they are in Hong Kong, especially over the last 12 months to over
2 years,
2 years
maybe.
or so, right, since the NSL, or even during the extradition bill, so-called fight for freedom movement, right?
Right.
And now in Canada, they are also facing a lot of new challenges. How to get a driver's license, even, for instance, get a new job, where they stay, and then the relatively cold winter in Toronto versus like Vancouver. But Toronto is also a very dynamic city where there are a lot of new technology companies, and finding jobs is not that difficult pre-COVID, to be honest. And I used to live in Toronto many years ago. Actually, I left in year 2000. So I like the city. I know the city well, and I even get my graduate degree here in Toronto. So I love the city, but not so much in the summertime when it is hot and humid like today.
Like right now, yes.
Like right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so for CFSO, what kind of let's say career counseling that your agency can provide for newcomers?
So before we talk about whether someone can become successful in a new career, we first need to find out whether they have the wherewithal, right? So, whether they have the right state of mind, whether they have the right cultural values, language skills, family support, and all of that. That's beyond what, let's say, YMCA career counseling can give you, right? And that's exactly why we didn't push our values onto people, but we actually hired from Hong Kong. We hired specific staff who understand newcomer population, which has recently gone through that specific type of socio-political trauma and maybe even family trauma, to come to Canada to help counsel them, to make sure that they're in the right mental health state of mind, and then provide career counseling, such as we've even done a lot of educational campaigns online for that, telling them how, let's say the accounting registration can be converted here, the doctor's registration, the lawyer's registration, all of those work that they could do before even arriving in Canada.
Right.
And afterwards, whether they need a mentorship or hours of placements or what kind of volunteer work or the pathways or the sectors where they can look for jobs, as well as advice on resume review, right, job interview skills, all of those pretty standard stuff. So I think, we are the, continuum enabler, right? So from, whether you will be able to, if you eventually get a job, are you able to keep a job, right? So we've also ourselves hired what we call 手足, right? Or recent victims of the political unrest. And we found that, as much as they have good intentions, they're not able to keep the job because they would be really alert one day and then down with depression the next 4, right? It puts the employer in a very difficult position, and then they survive guilt and all of that stuff. So I think it makes sense to give them time to rebuild their state of mind, self-esteem, and all of that, and to ensure their safety in Canada before we can even talk about, finding a job and keeping a job.
Let me reiterate a little bit. 手足 means the activists who are politically suppressed. Is that correct?
Advocates, right?
Advocates.
Yeah. Trauma, suppressed.
Right.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So you hire them, mean the agency, some people.
And we've also hired bona fide, qualified psychotherapists from Hong Kong to help these people because they are closer
under
to
trauma.
Their state of mind.
Yeah. I see. I guess maybe a little bit about CFSO's history as well. Is it a new agency?
It's been around for 33 years. We started somewhere around here, I think Tongan Chinatown-ish,
right.
Church Street-ish, right?
Yes.
And then we moved to Scarborough, and now we're at the new location. We've been there for a year too right now, and it's right centrally located among the York region, North York, and Scarborough to Toronto boundary. So it's very convenient for those with or without a car. We located there, positioned there strategically to serve East Asian immigrants, and that's where most of them congregate, and that's why we're strategically located there. Yeah.
Okay. I guess probably in 2 hours or so, we do one of these live broadcasts in Cantonese.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.